Hey, just completely out of nowhere because we got so much to cover as we usually do on a Monday, but didn't Leonard Skinner retire? I know this is completely out of left field, but I'm going through my Twitter and I'm seeing Leonard Skinner popping up on a lot of things. And Leonard Skinner is one of the headlining acts on a festival I was announced as a host of a week or two
Oh, I
ago.
heard about that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so funny. This Exit 111 festival in Tennessee, the bill is so incredible that I actually, God's honest truth, I had a friend text me last night and ask me, "Hey, is this real?" He thought it was a scam. He's like, "Are you really a part of this? And is this really happening? Is there really a festival that's got Guns N' Roses and Slayer and Skynyrd and Def Leppard?" And I was like, "Yeah, there is. It's real. It's real." But yeah, so that's in October, Exit 111. But I I just was realizing something because I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing a bunch of stuff. Skynyrd, I guess, played Stagecoach.
Yes.
And they're on Exit 111 in October. But wasn't it like last year that there was a big Sirius XM listener event in Atlanta and Skynyrd was ending and it was like their farewell thing?
Well, you know what it is? If memory serves correct, no, they're following along the same model that a lot
The endless farewell?
Basically, yes.
That's the new trend, folks. It used to be that the farewell tour would be announced and everyone would just laugh because the band would end for like 3 days and then come back a month later. Now the move is the open-ended farewell tour. So it might be 3 years. It might be 10 years. If you're Ozzy, it could be 28 years and counting. It might not even ever really end, but we're going to end at some point because we're going to drop dead. So let's just put a note on the ticket now and just do a farewell that never really ends. That's unreal.
Well, you know what it is? These bands, yeah, they embark on these, quote, farewell tours and find out, well, we're pretty popular. People keep buying tickets, so why stop the gravy train?
It's not just that. Nobody wants to go home. I'm not kidding you. Nobody wants to go home. If you wonder about the bands that keep going and going and going when they clearly don't need the money, a lot of it is they don't want to go home. They don't want to get away from the adulation of the crowd. They don't want to get away from the routine of having every bit of, everything at their beck and call given to them and done for them. They don't want to they don't want to go back to reality. I'm talking about the bands at the higher echelons, the big bands. They don't want to do it. They don't want to go, being brutally honest, they don't want to go home to their wives and their families and have to deal with that. They'd much rather be out with the boys having fun on the road.
That's like that big sports radio host here in New York City who he spent a whole year embarking on his farewell retirement
Francesa, yeah.
And then was retired for 3 months and said, you know what, F that, and went back to work.
I know that, I've mentioned this before. A friend, as many people know, if you've been listening to me for a long time, one of my closest friends is Mike Piazza, the Hall of Fame baseball player, former Met, former Dodger. Mike, people ask me all the time, doesn't sit in with you anymore. Mike lives in Italy now. He relocated to Italy. He bought a soccer team there, and that bottomed out, but he stayed, and he's still there. If you're listening to the show last week, when I had members of Whitesnake on from the Hard Rock in Florida on Thursday afternoon, I had the keyboard player on from Whitesnake, who is Italian, Michele Lupi, and he is from the town that Mike bought the soccer team in. But anyway, Mike used to tell me that all the time as a Major League Baseball player. He would say, you ever wonder why these guys retire when they can't play anymore? And like literally overnight, they're in the broadcast booth, they're coaching third base, they're an assistant bench coach, they're a hitting coach, a pitching coach, because most of those guys don't want to go home. Their whole lives have been on the road, having everything taken care of for them, per diems, hotels, ground transportation, not dealing with the shit they got to deal with at home, with family. And they don't want to face that. Sometimes it's all they've known their whole life. So guys that miss that and want to get home to that, but there's a lot of guys that love what the road affords them, and they don't want to face the reality. So let me find a gig, any gig, pay me anything to keep me out here with the boys. I think there's a big part of that comes into play when you see these rock bands that you wonder, how do they keep going and why do they keep going when they clearly don't need any money they're set for 100 lifetimes. Well, part of it is the creative aspect. They love doing it. But the other thing is they love the pampering and the attention and the ego strokes that come with being on the road in front of thousands of fans. And that's a big, big thing. Anyway, I was just asking about that because I do research before I come on the air every day and just do a little checking around. And I'm seeing a lot of Skinner stuff all of a sudden. And I was like, just hit me. Didn't they put a button? Didn't they say they were done last year? And just like everybody, Motley Crue, ladies and gentlemen, still the only ones. Didn't come back. And they are on, I was saying leading into this movie, The Dirt, they're on the clock to come back. They didn't do it now. They sure as hell ain't doing it. So Motley Crue, the only band I can think of that has actually done a farewell and said this is our last show and has yet to come back. And if they didn't do it coming off of the buzz of The Dirt, I seriously don't think that it's happening.